Hi there, my name is Robert Franz. I'm the History Department Chair at the Highland School in Warrenton, Virginia. I'm also the lead teacher for Highland's leadership class, which we started 3 years ago. One of the reasons that we started this leadership class 3 years ago was through my GCLI experience. 3 years ago, if I can be repetitive, I drove across the United States to Colorado Springs with my now fiance to go to this conference, expecting a set curriculum that would allow me to be successful when I walked into the classroom the very first day of leadership class. What I got was something very different. What I received from the Institute is something that has been life-changing for me. So often, we seem to think we have the answers to leadership problems, particularly 21st century leadership problems. And we do inside. I think it just takes programs like GCLI to bring it out of us, particularly for 21st century problems. When I got to Colorado Springs, it was breathtaking, beautiful. The course was really intense for me, but eye-awakening. When I was driving across the United States to Colorado Springs, my fiance and I would listen to books on tape. And one of the books on tape that we listened to was a series by NPR called This I Believe. Edward R. Murrow started this series back in the 1950s, and I remember hearing it when I was very, very young with my father, but by chance I picked up this books on tape to kind of kill time when you're going across those long Midwestern states. Ironically, as I said earlier, the whole issue of the This I Believe essay was self-reflection, trying to understand what you truly believe. And through several essays that were moving, I started to examine that myself. And by the time I got to Colorado Springs, my mind was awake. What GCLI did for me was make it even more awake, make me look even more into myself and see how much of a leader I could become and how I could actively come forth and translate my ideas that I got driving across the United States, and more particularly from the Institute, and put into a classroom and put into effect instead of just sitting there and always declaring that you're a leader. I think in the last newsletter, the idea of leadership is that it needs to be active. And at Highland, we tried to do that. We tried to do that with our leadership class, which has been very successful. And within this leadership class, we look at ideas such as distributive leadership, seeing the difference between 21st century and 20th century leadership. We look at the ideas of we no longer can blame, but we have to look to solve problems. We also look at a very famous quote by Einstein, which I feel is very important. It says, we can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. That's what GCLI is. It's the opportunity to look at problem solutions in a different lens. And I was able to translate some of those lessons back into the classroom. And more importantly, the leadership class has become a lab for our teachers at Highland. Too often teachers are afraid to try new pedagogical ideas. In the leadership class, we're trying everything. The purchase of a Harkness table, placing things on YouTube that we're doing right now where the kids can go back and give some type of reflection. Also this idea of the last lecture where our students send a message to the next class to say why leadership class is important. These ideas that we model within the leadership class has now trickled throughout our school, and teachers are more comfortable in trying new pedagogical ideas. The other thing that I would have to say that GCLI has done for me personally has widened my lens about leadership. After attending the conference, I started a program at the University of Virginia in Educational Administration and Leadership. And I take it very seriously, and I think I would take it very seriously as one, because of my experience through GCLI, two, that I am teaching leadership, And three, that's really important. I think when we look at all the ideas of the 21st century, teaching leadership is imperative. It's imperative for students. Too often at commencements, we look at kids and say, you are the future leaders, yet we've given them really no background in it. And the background can come through a class, which we do at Highland, or the background can come from you. In the last newsletter from GCLI, it said the most successful leaders are the ones that are active. That's very true, I feel. And I think at Highland we are trying to be active in promoting the idea of leadership and truly be intentional with our mission statement that includes leadership. But by being intentional, it's generally the indirect results that allow kids to be successful. It's the things that you don't teach in class that somehow come out with the kids. I'm hoping that I can post some of the remarks that our students had from Highland up on YouTube as well, so you can watch some of the ideas and thoughts they had of the leadership class at Highland. But GCLI has been an opportunity for me to widen my lens, to truly start to understand myself and prepare me, whether I'm in the classroom or whether I'm doing something in the future. I feel that GCLI did not have that idea of a set curriculum that everyone's looking for, but it truly allowed me to understand myself. And for that, I'm really thankful. And I'm hoping that you guys, too, are the active leaders that go out into your community and really be transformative. We need that. We need that to solve 21st century problems. We no longer can just blame. We no longer can look backwards. We no longer can just do the same things. We need to be transformative now. And I'm sure that many of you guys will go back and do that into your communities. Thank you, and thank you for this opportunity.